Welcome to the Matchup by Field Vision Sports. Our expert analysis on matchups and statistics will give you the edge in betting and on your friends. Use our insights to predict NFL outcomes like nobody else and always be the smartest guy in the room. By Field Vision Sports, your podcast covering football from a unique perspective. I'm your host, Sasha Bushka, joined by Scott Bushka and Cody Alexander, as always. We're recording here on Wednesday, July 24th. It's a great day for some football. Camp's getting started. Fellas, how we doing today?
Good morning, fellas. I'm great. I'm on a flight to Austin tomorrow. Going to see you guys later tonight, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Sasha, will you buy me a beer?
I'd be happy to. On the Field Vision account. Nah, cool. I'll buy you a beer.
I'll trade you a beer for a car bomb. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fair. That seems like a good trade to me. Glad we got that out of the way. But we've got a few things to talk about today. We're going to talk deeper into Havoc ratings. It's a proprietary metric developed by Field Vision Sports. Last week we got into Field Vision as a whole. Then we'll get into a linebacker discussion. You've seen some articles coming out this week about linebackers off ball from a run stopping perspective and a coverage perspective, and then we'll get into news and notes around the league. So to start off, Scott, you wrote an article earlier this week talking about the unique way that Havoc Rate looks at players from a play-by-play basis. Just give us kind of the synopsis on that.
Yeah, I'm going to try to not talk too much because I think Cody is probably the most of the brains behind our Havoc ratings. But first of all, the name's awesome, right? Havoc ratings coined by Cody Alexander. The reason we love that is because what better way to describe what the best defenders in the league do than create havoc and get in the way of the offense doing what they want to do. To me, there's really two unique things about the way that we're creating Havoc ratings that are different from the way that everyone else in the league is evaluating defensive players, including our good friends over at PFF. The first is every single thing that we do in Havoc ratings is built up using play-by-play data, which means it's using play-by-play outcomes. So when we give a player a Havoc rating, it's based on every single outcome that he's created on every single play that he's played over the last several seasons in the NFL. The reason that's really important is when you're using play-by-play data, it gives you a ton of context to the situation that's happening on every given play. So it allows us to do things like we did this week, which is understand what linebackers are really good at stopping the run, but really terrible in coverage. What linebackers are really good at coverage, but maybe good at man coverage, less good at zone coverage. What linebackers are just good at rushing the passer, but don't really play in coverage or stop the run super well. Same thing with corners, right? Last week, Cody wrote an amazing article around our top 5 man corners versus our top 5 zone corners, and they're actually pretty different. And you can dive deeper into that, right? Like once you're in zone, there's some guys that are amazing at playing cover 3, but less good at playing cover 2. So play-by-play data and being able to cut plays, games, seasons up into telling us what players are good at is really important. The second thing I will say, and I know we talked about our data science capabilities and just our data scientists last week, is the thing that's really important around the way we're building Havoc ratings is it's based on actual math around what helps teams win games, right? And so when you think about the way that we valued an interception, the way that we valued a forced fumble, the way that we valued a tackle, a pass breakup, all that stuff, we didn't guess, right? We had data modelers go back and model the impact of those plays on winning and then build that into our formula. So what we would say is Havoc rating is taking into account every single play that a player plays and based on the math that actually helps their team win.
Yeah, good insights there. One thing, and maybe Cody can speak to this, but using that play-by-play method, it allows you to see a player's versatility, like a linebacker who's good against the run and in pass coverage. But it also shows you, when you look at the overall rankings, teams that deploy players to their strengths, because like a Bobby Wagner, who's really good at stopping the run, and that's what the Seahawks used him for, rises really high in the rankings based on that. So Cody, talk a little bit about versatility versus like players being deployed to just do the things that they're really good at.
Yeah, I wanted to create a metric that was not just a blanket rating system that we basically have from anybody, whether it's just, hey, we're taking a anonymous poll of scouts around the league or GMs around the league. We're not just going to have an arbitrary number attached to a guy. We're not using a Madden rating system where we have attributes tied with how much awareness does this say, things that we can't really know. We're just guessing at. I didn't want to guess anymore. I wanted to have something too, to where we could actually like chop it up, that we could dive deeper. I think this offseason, I know we're speaking into the future, but this offseason, taking this data, we're going to be able to really look at player personnel decisions at a completely different way than anybody else is doing, just because we have the ability to break it down. I think a great example of this would be like a guy like Darius Williams. Why is a 31-year-old corner being signed back to the Rams? One of the biggest things, and why is he one of the better corners? Well, it's versatility. He's good in man. He's good in zone. He plays a lot of different coverages really, really well. What do the Rams do? The Rams really want to run a bunch of different things, primarily from a cover 3 shell. So even going further into linebackers, you really can separate out linebackers into 3 different categories. You kind of have your overall guys that are elite. These are your elite guys. They're good in coverage. They're good at run stopping ability. Maybe they add a dynamic into the pass rush. I think we're also seeing in the NFL a shift away from linebackers being a primary pass rusher or a primary tool in the pass rush. I think now they want edges to be that